So I don't know if you guys seen it already, but 2022 lineup for the Harley Davidson just released. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over some of the details that I've already found through my research and what kind of color variations, what kind of upgrades Harley Davidson has done as a motorcycle company for the 2022 lineup, and potentially what to expect for more exciting announcements from Harley Davidson, especially the one that's coming up later in January for the Lowrider S, and maybe another variation for the Revolution Max, potentially a 975. The only reason I'm putting this in between the Battle of the Sportsters is because this is news and I want to be able to give you guys most up-to-date news rather than waiting until I come around making one. I have been noticing that every year it's a bit of a letdown on newer models, but really it's just the same bike with different colors. And you know what? If your favorite color pops up, maybe that gives you the incentive to purchase a new one or trade in your old bike. But for me, I am a little disappointed though, because I really think what they should be doing is listening to the audience and potentially just doing small changes and upgrades to their motorcycles, just like either upgrading the shocks, because let's say for a Sportster, I would love to see an upgraded shocks where it gives you a little bit more absorption in the back, or changing some of the bikes that are a little bit more performance based with dual disc brakes, just something smaller that they already have invested the R&D for and they just need to add on to their bikes so it feels new and gives you a little bit of incentive to upgrade for those who are looking to upgrade their older bikes or older models. So like in 2021 when the Street Bob switched over from 107 to 114, I think that was a good move because that really pushed a lot of Sportster riders or potentially Street Bob riders from 107 that wanted that 114, and that would just kind of give them the incentive to go upgrade their bike, and I think that was a good move. Now, a few of the things that's happening in 22 that we know of already, they did cancel a few of the bikes. They canceled the Iron 1200, which was a surprise to me because I thought they were going to cancel all of the Evo-based Sportsters, but given that they already canceled the Streets and the Street Rod, there isn't any entry-level models out there that's under $10,000 US that you can purchase from Harley Davidson. And I know some of our overseas friends can't buy these anyways because they haven't been selling the Evo models overseas due to the emission standards, but in North America they are still selling the Evolution Sportster, so they're still selling the 883 and the 48, but they have canceled the Iron 1200. But from a business standpoint, I guess it makes sense. They did cancel two of the Softail models that I thought was a surprise. They canceled the Sport Glide, which I thought it was a really good bike because it is basically a mini version of a road glide that has a little bit of the both worlds where you can keep it as a bobber if you want to, or you transform it into a bagger, and it all comes with the bike. So I thought that's a really good bike, but I guess later in January we'll find out if the Lowrider S is going to get that treatment because they are kind of missing that in the Softail lineup once they got rid of Sport Glide, which again was a surprise to me. They got rid of the Slim, which was also another surprise because Slim was such a good bike. I'm a bit hurt on that one because it was the first Softail that I actually tested out and reviewed, and I really loved the ergonomics and the comfort of the bike, and that motorcycle like ran really well. So for me, for them to cancel the Slim and not the Fat Boy, which, you know what, Fat Boy has a lot of heritage status and history behind it, but to be honest, it was not the best bike that I have ridden. It felt a little sluggish, and it's one of those bikes that I definitely felt the weight on the bike and really had to steer to make that turn. So I probably would have liked to see the Fat Boy get canceled and then kept the Slim, but I guess we see more sales from the Fat Boy rather than the Slim. I don't know. It was a weird decision on my books. There's some new colors coming in for the Sportster S. They got rid of like the pure white and they brought in a little bit more of an eggshell color, and they added in a third color scheme, which is the green, which you kind of saw that on the Sportster Iron before, and I think it's a very similar pigment of that. The Street Bob got some new colors. It seems like the Harley Davidson is moving away from going all black, and they have been starting to add in more color, a little bit more gloss, and moving away from like the Son of Anarchy days where every bike needed to be black, which I'm not the biggest fan of multicolor bikes. If you like that kind of look, then so be it. I'm more of a simple bobber and clean color scheme. So Street Bob got some colors. It also got some mag wheels instead of spoke wheels, which is cool, but in terms of performance, I don't think it's going to change too much on that end. We're still waiting on the announcement of what the Lowrider S package looks like. I'm not going to hold my breath. The rumors are already out. and 90% of the time rumors come true because Harley Davidson doesn't do a very good job on spoilers, and I won't be too surprised if the Lowrider S comes out with a couple bag attachments that used to be on the Sport Glide. And then on all the big twins, the Road Glide, Street Glide, it's getting some more paint colors as well. I'm not too excited about any of the colors, but what I will be excited about is when they announce the smaller or the entry version of the Harley Davidson models with the Revolution Max engine. Hopefully this year, like the way they announced the Sportster S, I really am looking forward to the 975 variant because I think that's really going to be the game changer. And if they keep it the same look as a regular Sportster rather than Sportster S look, I think it's going to drive a lot more sales and potentially people moving away from the Evo Sportsters and moving on to the Revolution Max, because the engine of the Revolution Max, after riding the Pan America and the Sportster S, I'm a firm believer it's a very good engine. Time will tell in terms of how long the engine will last or how bulletproof it is compared to the Evolution, but in terms of performance, I'm very happy and pleasant with the Revolution Max. It doesn't make that Harley noise, but you know what, you got to kind of keep up with the times, especially with the government regulation making it a little bit more stricter. But I would love to see the 975 version. I would love to see maybe a Bronx, because after trying out some of the naked bikes, I really like it. I think naked bikes have the best bang for the buck, where you get a very good standard riding position, and as well you get that performance of a sport bike. So I don't know, maybe for my second bike, I might be leaning closer to a naked bike if I'm keeping my Iron 83. But if I'm not keeping my Iron 83, then obviously I'm gonna go for another cruiser, because cruiser is kind of where I'm the most comfortable on. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Please click that like and subscribe button if you want to know an up-to-date information about the Harley Davidson. And as well, look forward to the Battle of the Sportsters because it is coming in hot. Other than that, ride safe, ride prepared, ride on. Peace.